What is the greatest fear in all of mankind? I'll tell you this, it isn't death. Let's talk about it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Marvin here from backsideoffear.com. Today we're going to take a deep dive within episode 10 of the Gift Doctor series, and also relates back to episode 4 as well, where it's outlining different moments in Maximus' life where he has to get up and speak in front of a group. The most terrifying, the greatest fear in all of mankind is the fear of public speaking. The interesting thing is that public speaking is one of the most powerful forces you can ever encounter. I mean, think about changes that have been put forth, people that have been inspired by somebody standing in front of a crowd of people and speaking. For my experience with public speaking, I've been on a couple of sides. I've been on the side of, like public speaking, there's no way I want to get up there and speak. No way. I'm going to do everything I can to avoid speaking in public. It doesn't matter if I don't even want to speak in one-on-one. I don't even speak on the telephone. I don't even want to order my food. And now it's like, I would love to speak to a group of people, as long as I have the time to prepare the speech, to prepare my talk. I would love to speak to an audience. It's like, wow, how did this formulate? Very shortly, I'm going to share a speech compilation that I put together where I have clips of my speeches that I've given in my public speaking class and all the way up through present today. So it'll be 2013 all the way up through to 2019, and I'll be sharing that very shortly. For me, it largely began when we talked about in the previous video, when I was giving my talk for running for the class president in the 5th grade. That was my first major introduction into public speaking, and it wasn't a good one. And it created a downhill spiral of me just wanting to avoid speaking at all costs. Then over a decade later, in 2013, after many years of doing everything I could to avoid speaking, I found myself accidentally falling into a public speaking course. It wasn't until after I chose my degree in business administration that I encountered that in order to get that degree, I have to take a public speaking class. There's no way around it. I fell into having to speak in front of others, and not only have to give one speech, but I had to give 6 speeches. And throughout that process, I went from, wow, this is horrible, I don't even know if I'm able to get through this speech. Well, I didn't get through this speech. I didn't even get through a fourth of this speech. And then, little by little, I started seeing little tiny bits, little tiny bits of improvement. And then I got to the 6th speech, and it was a larger improvement. I looked at the 6th speech. I wish I had my first one recorded, but I only recorded my 4th, 5th, and 6th one. I was able to analyze those, like, wow, I see there's a significant improvement. So maybe I can speak in front of others. And then after the public speaking course, I thought, well, I want to continue this on. I don't want to go through all that I've gone through and be all for nothing and just fall back into my old habits of trying to avoid speaking. I'm gonna join Toastmasters, where I can speak in front of a group and get feedback on my speeches. And little by little, I improved more and more. I competed in a speech contest, not necessarily so I can win, but just it was more speaking experience. I was looking for opportunities to speak. Whereas the previous decade, I would try to avoid all opportunities to speak. And when I found that, when I got into the area of looking for opportunities to speak, I didn't have such a negative view on public speaking. It wasn't so much of this huge, hairy, gigantic monster that is something I had to fear and run for my life from. It was something I can embrace and use as a platform to make an impact. And that's a shift I will encourage you to explore. Perhaps, maybe you have something that you would like to do in life that requires public speaking, but you're just hesitant to take that step forward because of that public speaking element. I encourage you to take that step. Doesn't matter where you start, you can always reach to a higher level. And share your thoughts in the comments below on your view of public speaking or any public speaking experiences that you've had. And like and share the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and remember, it's amazing what you can achieve on the other side of your fears.